Be me, 28M. Work as an archival assistant in a municipal library basement. Town is in the Pacific Northwest. Gray skies 300 days a year. Rain is a constant background noise. My life is measured in linear feet of cardboard boxes. Wake up at 6:30 a.m. Shower. Toast with unsalted butter. Black coffee. Lukewarm. Walk 20 minutes to work. Unlock the heavy steel door at the back of the building. The air inside always smells like dust and decaying cellulose. It is a comforting smell. It smells like stasis. My job is to digitize property records from 1950 to 1990. Scan, crop, meta tag, file, repeat. I speak to maybe 3 people a week. The head librarian, Mrs. Gable, is upstairs. She calls down on the intercom once a day to check if I am alive. I press the button and say yes. That is the extent of my social life. I like it this way. People are variable variables. Files are constants. Enter October. Rain is heavier than usual. The basement leaks in the northeast corner. I have a bucket there. Drip, drip, drip. It keeps time better than the clock on the wall. Mrs. Gable buzzes down. Says we have a grant. Says we are hiring a temporary cataloger to speed up the digitization. I feel a physical tightness in my chest. Disruption. I tell her I don't need help. She says it's already done. Monday morning. The steel door opens. Be me, staring at the intruder. She is soaking wet. Red raincoat, yellow rain boots, holding a dripping umbrella that is leaving a puddle on my concrete floor. She looks about my age. Messy hair, dark curls sticking to her forehead. She smiles. It is too bright for this room. Hi, I'm Lena. She extends a hand. I look at it. I look at the puddle. I shake her hand. Her skin is cold from the rain, but her grip is warm. I point to the second desk. It has been used as a staging area for box 404, B through 409, F. I have to move the boxes. She tries to help. She drops a file. Papers scatter. I feel a spike of adrenaline. I tell her to stop. I pick them up myself. I reorganize them by date. She watches me. She says nothing. She sits at the empty desk. The chair squeaks. I hate that chair. Work begins. The silence is broken. She types loudly. Clack, clack, clack. She hums. It's not a song I recognize, just a low, vibrating sound in her throat. I try to focus on the deed for a plot of land from 1962. I cannot focus. I put on headphones, no music, just the muffling of the foam. Lunchtime. I eat my sandwich, turkey and cheese, no mayo. She pulls out a Tupperware, something that smells like curry. The smell fills the entire basement. It overpowers the dust. I stare at my screen. She asks if I want to try some. I say no. She shrugs and eats. She reads a paperback book while she eats. I can see the cover. It looks like cheap sci-fi. A week passes. Routine is shattered. She arrives at 8:05 a.m. I arrive at 8 a.m. The 5 minutes of uncertainty are excruciating. She hangs her red coat on the rack. It drips next to my black coat. The colors clash. She brings a mug. It is shaped like a cat. She puts it on the desk next to the scanner. I tell her no liquids near the equipment. She rolls her eyes. But she moves the mug to the far edge of the table. Compliance. Acceptable. Tuesday. It is pouring rain. The bucket in the corner is filling up fast. I go to empty it. She is already there. She lifts the bucket. She is struggling with the weight. I take it from her. Our hands brush. Static electricity. We both flinch. She laughs. I do not laugh. I empty the bucket in the utility sink. When I come back, she is staring at the leak. She says we should patch it. I say it's structural. She says she has gum. She chews a piece of gum, sticks it on the crack in the concrete. The dripping stops. I stare at the gum. It is pink. It is ridiculous. It works. I go back to my desk. I can hear her breathing. It is a soft rhythm. I find myself matching my breathing to hers. I stop immediately. I scan a document. Wednesday. She brings 2 coffees, one in the cat mug, one in a paper cup. She puts the paper cup on my desk, far edge, away from the equipment. I look at her. She doesn't look up from her screen. She just says, "It's black." I take a sip. It is hot. It is better than the sludge I make at home. I drink it all. I do not say thank you. I wash the cup out in the sink and put it in the recycling. The next day, there is another cup. This becomes the new routine. 8:05 a.m. Red coat. Cat mug. Paper cup. Clack, clack, clack. November. It gets colder. The basement heating is erratic. Some days it is a sauna. Some days it is an icebox. Today is an icebox. I am wearing my sweater. She is wearing a thick scarf. She is shivering. I can see her fingers trembling on the keyboard. It is affecting her scanning efficiency. I stand up. I go to the storage closet. I find the portable space heater. It is old and dusty. I plug it in between our desks. The coils glow orange. It smells like burning hair for a minute. Then it radiates heat. She turns to me. She smiles. Her nose is red from the cold. "Thanks," she says. I grunt. I sit back down. The heater buzzes. It is a white noise that masks the rain. We work in the orange glow. At 3 p.m., she stretches. Her foot bumps mine under the desk. She apologizes. She doesn't move her foot back. I don't move mine either. The contact is minimal, just the side of a shoe against a boot. I focus on the screen. I am hyper-aware of my left foot. My heart rate is slightly elevated. Must be the caffeine. December. Darkness comes at 4 p.m. The basement feels like a bunker. We are the last survivors of the apocalypse. We are preserving the history of property taxes. She starts talking more, not about work. She talks about her cat. His name is Barnaby. She talks about her sister in Ohio. She talks about how much she hates cilantro. I do not respond much. I nod. I say, I say, that makes sense. But I stop typing when she talks. I look at the files, but I am listening. I know that Barnaby throws up if he eats tuna. I know her sister is getting divorced. I know she is allergic to wool. One day she asks me a question. "What do you do for fun?" I freeze. Fun is not a metric I track. I read, I say. "What do you read?" "History," I say. She swivels her chair. She is facing me. Her eyes are very brown, like the coffee she brings me. "That's fitting," she says. "You're like a history book." I ask what she means. "You have a lot of pages, but you keep them closed." I don't know what to say to that. I turn back to the scanner. The light bar moves across the glass. Christmas is approaching. The library is putting up decorations upstairs. We can hear the festive music bleeding through the floorboards. It is muffled and distorted. Jingle bells in a minor key. She brings in a string of lights, battery-operated. She tapes them to the edge of her desk. They blink slowly. Red, green, red, green. I tell her it's unprofessional. She says nobody sees them but us. She says the basement is depressing. She says, I am depressing. She says it with a laugh, but it stings. I look at the lights. They reflect in the monitor. They are distracting. I do not tell her to take them down. Friday before Christmas. Library closes early. Mrs. Gable buzzes down. Says we can go home at 2 p.m. Lena cheers. She packs her bag. She puts on the red coat. She stands by my desk. She hands me a small package, wrapped in newspaper. I stare at it. "Open it," she says. My hands feel clumsy. I tear the paper. It is a mug. It is plain black ceramic, but inside at the bottom, there is a small painted picture of a filing cabinet. I look at her. "Saw it at a thrift store," she says. "Thought of you." I hold the mug. It is cold and heavy. I do not have a gift for her. I feel a flush of shame. I didn't know we were exchanging items. She waves a hand. "Don't worry about it. Merry Christmas." She leaves. The door clangs shut. I am alone. The silence is deafening. I look at the blinking lights on her desk. Red, green, red, green. I sit there for an hour, just holding the mug. January, the bleakest month. She returns. She got a haircut. It is shorter. She looks tired. She doesn't hum for 3 days. I am concerned. I do not ask. I wait. On the 4th day, I bring a bag of cookies, store-bought, oatmeal raisin. I put them on her desk. She looks at them. She looks at me. "I heard you like oatmeal," I say. I don't remember when she said that. Maybe in November. She smiles. It is a smaller smile than usual, but it is real. Thanks, she says. She opens the bag. She eats a cookie. She hums a little bit. The tension in my shoulders releases. Routine is restored. February. Snowstorm. The city shuts down. But I live close, and she has a Subaru. We are the only ones at work. Mrs. Gable calls, says, stay put until the plows come. Don't try to leave yet. The power flickers, then dies. Pitch black. The emergency lights kick on. Dim yellow buzzing lights in the corners. The computers are dead. The silence is total. No hum of the scanner. No heater. No ventilation. Just the wind howling outside the little slit windows at street level. We sit in the gloom. It is getting cold, fast. She wraps her scarf tighter. I have a flashlight in my drawer. I turn it on. I set it on the desk pointing up at the ceiling. It creates a pool of diffused light. Campfire mode. So, she says. So I say, we can't work. No. She stands up, moves her chair around to my side of the desk. She sits next to me, close. Her arm is touching my arm. She is wearing a wool sweater. It is scratchy against my shirt. I don't move. Tell me a story, she says. I don't know any stories. Tell me about the files. Tell me about the most interesting thing you found. I tell her about the deed from 1920. A man left his entire estate to his dog. The dog's name was Buster. The family contested it. The dog won. She laughs. It is a loud sound in the quiet room. I look at her profile in the shadows. She is looking at me. You have a nice voice, she says. When you use it, I clear my throat. I look away. I look at the flashlight beam. Dust motes are dancing in the light. We sit like that for 2 hours, talking about dogs, about old houses, about the snow. She shivers. I stand up. I take off my black coat. I put it over her shoulders. It smells like dust and old paper. She pulls it tight. Thanks. She leans her head on my shoulder, just for a second. Then she sits up straight. But she keeps the coat. The power comes back on with a loud clank. The lights blind us. The moment shatters. We blink. We move the chairs back. The computers boot up. The fan noise returns. We don't talk about the blackout. But she wears my coat for the rest of the day. I work in my sweater. I am cold, but I feel warm. March. The grant money is running out. She mentions it casually. Only 3 weeks left. I stop typing. I stare at the cursor blinking. Blink, blink. I knew this was temporary. I knew she was a variable. I filed her under temporary staff. But the file has become corrupted. I feel a sense of dread. I try to ignore it. I work harder. I scan faster. If we finish early, she leaves early. I slow down. I double-check every tag. I accidentally delete a batch of scans. We have to redo them. She groans, but she sits back down. We do them together. I am buying time. It is pathetic. I know it is pathetic. One rainy Tuesday, she comes in without the umbrella. She is drenched. She is crying. Quietly. Just tears mixing with the rain on her face. I stand up. I don't know what to do. Protocol for emotional distress is not in the employee handbook. I walk over to her. I hand her a tissue from the box on my desk. She takes it. She wipes her eyes. My landlord, she says. He's selling the building. I have to move. I can't afford the rent in this town anymore. I might have to move back to Ohio. Ohio. That is 2,000 miles away. That is a different zone. I feel the floor drop out. I look at the files. I look at the bucket in the corner. The gum is still holding. You can't go, I say. It comes out quieter than I intended. She looks at me. Red-rimmed eyes. Why not? Because. I gesture at the boxes. We aren't finished. She laughs. A sad, wet laugh. The work is never finished, she says. She sits down. She doesn't take off her coat. She stares at the screen. We work in silence. The silence is different now. It is heavy. It is loaded. At lunch, I go out. I walk to the deli. I buy 2 sandwiches. I buy a cookie. I come back. I put the food on her desk. She looks at it. She looks at me. I found a listing, I say. I slide a piece of paper across the desk. I printed it out on the office printer. Apartment complex near the river. Rent is controlled. It is within her budget. How did you? I researched, I say. It's what I do. She picks up the paper. She reads it. She looks at me. Her eyes are watery again. Thank you. I sit down. I eat my sandwich. I don't look at her. I listen to the wrapper crinkling as she opens hers. It is the best sound I have ever heard. April, her last week. She got the apartment. She isn't moving to Ohio, but her contract is over. She will be working at a bookstore downtown. It is only 6 blocks away, but it is not here. It is not in the basement. Friday, her last day. She packs her things. The cat mug, the blinking lights. The space feels bigger as she removes her items. It feels empty. She stands by the door, red coat, rain boots. Well, she says. Well, I say. She hesitates. She steps forward. She hugs me. It is quick. Arms around my shoulders. Smell of rain and vanilla shampoo. Wool against cotton. I stand stiffly. Then, for 1 second, I pat her back. 2 awkward pats. She pulls away. She smiles. Come visit me at the store, she says. I will, I say. I probably won't. I am not good at visiting. She leaves. The door clangs. The lock clicks. I am alone. I look at the empty desk. I look at the scanner. I look at the bucket. I sit down. I open a file. Property tax records, 1972. I start typing. Clack, clack. The sound echoes. It sounds hollow. I reach for my coffee. The black mug with the filing cabinet picture. I take a sip. It is cold. I look at the calendar. It is Saturday tomorrow. I don't work Saturdays. The bookstore is open on Saturdays. I wonder if they have history books. I wonder if they have sci-fi. I close the file. I turn off the computer. I put on my coat. I walk to the door. I look back at the basement. It is just a room. Concrete and paper. It was always just a room. But the air feels different now. It doesn't just smell like dust. It smells like something missing. I walk out into the rain. It is pouring. I don't have an umbrella. I walk home. I get wet. I don't mind. I am thinking about tomorrow. I am thinking about walking 6 blocks. I am thinking about a red coat. I make a mental note. Variable added to schedule. Bookstore. Status pending. I unlock my apartment. It is quiet, but for the first time in 10 years, the silence bothers me. I turn on the radio. Just low static and voices. It helps. I make toast. I stand by the window. I watch the rain. I touch the glass. It is cold. I think about the space heater. I think about the gum on the crack. I think I will go tomorrow. Yes, I will go. I check my watch. 14 hours until the bookstore opens. I can wait. I am good at waiting. But I am done with stasis. I finish my toast. I watch the streetlights flicker on, one by one, like tags in a database, like lights on a desk. Red, green,